Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Pixie, and I have a spirit message that wanted to come through for some of you guys. This message was about you wanting to step into something new, taking this first step into something that is more in alignment with where you want to head as a person, where you want to go, what you truly want to do, and where you're feeling called to. So this could be a new career, project, creative path, new hobby, a new interest. And as you try to take this first initial step into what it is that you want to do, you are like encountering this invisible wall that makes you react with fear and anxiety. And you have been maybe wrestling with this wall. And the odd thing is that this wall is actually other people's energy and their stakes in you remaining the same. So there are some energies and some connections that you've had in your life that you're still connected to, and they, even if they wear a face of wanting what's best for you, to be fair, I think you already know who are the people that don't want you to move further. I actually don't even... It's a weird energy, isn't it? When you can just feel it on some people that even though they try to be supportive or say supportive things or pretend to hype you up, deep down, under the layers of energy, so you have like the astral plane, you have the mental plane, you have the spiritual plane, deep down under the layers of reality, you can feel that these people have a stake in you staying where you are. There are people who have left your life, people who you no longer speak to, people who have watched you maybe from a distance or have like witnessed you, who feel a sense of comfort returning to your image, wishing and willing that you remain in the same space, in the same place, exactly where you are. They don't want you to have grown. They don't want you to have evolved. They don't want you to flourish past that image that they contain of you. Yes, it's up. You don't have to be controlled by this energy. Spirit wants to bring you this message to firstly acknowledge and help you to understand that this is a real phenomena that's happening. And sometimes, yes, the image or the face, you might get your wires crossed at who you think this is, if that makes sense. Because when you feel such a wall, you might not know, or you might get more suspicious. When you don't necessarily, when who you're being suspicious of isn't necessarily someone that you need to be suspicious of. There are people around you, friends, maybe even maybe messages like this that, you know, they are trying to help you see through and pierce through this veil, this energy that has kind of wrapped itself around you to kind of keep you. And you've been doing and coming to a lot of realizations in yourself. You've been, over time, to varying degrees, you have been like kind of calling back your energy, unplugging from these different influences and these different sources of things that take you out of yourself. You know, even if it's like a really positive force, if it knocks you out of your heart and of your authenticity and of who you are, you want to learn how to keep your own center of gravity. Some of you are very sensitive and are highly attuned to what's going on outside. You're some of you are literally telepathic, hearing thought forms of the energies that have been around you, of the even darker thoughts that people maybe not even actively have, but have carried. So, piercing this veil, what does it mean? So, I think as you actively realize that the phenomena is happening, that is when you can separate further. Because sometimes you guys are thinking that this is you. And when you don't know that this energy is happening, when you don't acknowledge maybe it's almost like the full extent of it, that's where most of its power is. Most of its power is you just going along with it and thinking that it's a part of you that has more power over you than you have power of yourself. It almost paints your perspective to see yourself as someone who is unworthy or unlovable or not able to take the step or get to the end place that you want to get to. This can be from anywhere and anyone. This can be from your family and their culture that you have been raised in, your religious backgrounds, whatever it is. It could be jealous friends or people who just don't want you to do better than they are doing out of possessiveness or out of insecurity. Whatever it is, these things and those people can exist separately. And if you're listening to this message and you are resonating, there's a whole little collective of us who are learning and have been learning for the past few years to create boundaries, not just emotionally, mentally, and physically, but even within our spirit, learning to not be influenced by hidden expectations, hidden desires, hidden wants of things that maybe we don't want for ourselves, that displace is a word that's coming through. It kind of like displaces us. So, you know, we've been in this like training process to solidify, and we're going to continue to do this, is to solidify our understanding and our like integrity. If you imagine this kind of core thread within yourself, which is who you are at your core, and then you have a lot of society that kind of tries to get you out of that, right? Being too sensitive, being kind, you know, we learn to kind of like adapt out of ourselves to survive the environments that we're in. But now as we become adults, we start to recognize, okay, I don't feel like myself anymore. don't really know who I am anymore. Let's get back here. Let's get back to me. Let's return to myself. Who even is that anymore? Because also too, some of it is like original blueprint, and then some of it's just matured and maybe even changed because of your experiences. And especially as you heal different things, different perspectives, different thoughts that you have, it integrates. And it makes me think of this conversation that we had on a live stream recently about how sometimes certain experiences that can just completely knock you out of yourself. And afterwards, you can look at it and be like, I really didn't feel like myself then. Who even was that? That didn't even feel like me. That doesn't even feel like who I even am. That's not what I think. That's not my full, whole self. And if you are someone who experiences that, like, please do not judge yourself. Like, please be compassionate towards yourself. This is a new way of you living. You are basically relearning how to live. And also, you are healing a lineage or healing within an environment that has conditioned you to neglect, reject, and criticize your nature. In a way, you know, a lot of the systems kind of train you to be a good employee and to be domesticated, you know, and domestication is a process of adapting our behavior to survive in a certain environment. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people are not blessed with good parents who nurture the positive qualities that we start to appreciate as adults in ourselves. So, okay, where was I going with this? So you're an artist, you're a sensitive, you are a creative, you are a healer, and there is a new threshold that you're about to step over that is going to require you to believe in yourself, to pull back your energy from paying mind or being attached to thoughts and energies that are not working in your best interest. And how do you do that? So a couple of exercises, which it's so funny that this message is coming through today because I just received this book by Dion Fortune about psychic self-defense. So if you're interested in picking this book up, it's pretty cheap. And I think it was The Methods of Defense number 3. But I'll explain a little bit about that on page 188 if you have this book. But it's about breaking astral links, because what some of you are experiencing is, you know, attachment to people's thought forms. And it's funny because this is something that I'm going to label a few practices. But it's funny, upon like receiving this book, some of the practices were things that I already kind of did, but just slightly differently from intuition. So for some of you that are on my Patreon, some of this might be familiar to you. If anyone doesn't know, I teach astrology and energetic healing and energetic hygiene over on there. I also do more intuitive messages if you're interested. So a couple of methods of with recalling your energy and detaching from these like astral links with people. So I want you to tune into the feeling of being blocked when you're about to take this step. And I want you to breathe in and just acknowledge that this wall is here but it's also existing outside of yourself. It can be of your own construction, yes, but it's easier for you to detach from it if you imagine that it's outside of yourself, not as to externalize or blame, but just it just helps with separation, so you can start to detach from it. Okay, some of you, it is, you know, really other people, right, with their own insecurities and their own problems, whatever it is, that has co-created. It could be a co-creation. Okay, we're gonna tune into the feeling of the wall, the block, the the hurdle, and then in your mind's eye, you're gonna just kind of like see where in your body that chords are coming from. So it could be from your third eye. It could be, most likely, it's probably from your solar plexus, which is going to affect your confidence, your level of certainty in yourself, your peace. And you are going to imagine a sword and a torch. And you are going to slice the chords that you can see. And then with the torch, you're going to burn the stump. And this practice will help. And I would recommend doing it a few times. You can affirm to yourself, you know, I am letting go now. I am detaching from these astral links that you're attached to, that are disturbing you, that are disrupting you, that are manipulating you, that are influencing you. You're ready to step out of that. You're ready to live your own life. Another practice is just imagining the unplugging of these cords just away from yourself, and kind of like a return to sender of like, well, this is yours. You can keep that. Sometimes humans, we have almost like a morbid curiosity for energies that confirm our worst fears. That is why we get attached to these things in the first place. The reason why we get attached to these types of energies in the first place is because deep down there is a morbid curiosity and almost like an attraction and an addiction to things that confirm our worst fears. So this might be the energy directly that you are working with. If you start to notice yourself get angry, this is usually in response to malicious energy. Okay. So as you deal with anger, know that you're working with malicious energy, and you want to flood and generate the emotions of love and compassion. As anger arises, you want to meet it with its exact opposite, which is love and compassion for anger. And again, anger is usually when someone has done something or sending something with malicious intent. You just want to oppose that. It will neutralize the energy. If you feel sudden desire or a lust, this is usually lustful energy that has been sent to you. So people who, this can look like, you know, people who want you to stay attractive to them, people who, you know, are turned on by you, who, yeah, just sexual attraction. You neutralize this with the emotions of purity and selflessness. So you want to tune into the feeling of purity and selflessness. This neutralizes and distances the energy of lust. Okay. And like lustful desires where there's a bit of stickiness with that. So purity and selflessness is the neutralizer for that. And thirdly, vampiric energy. So this is an energy of coming from a belief that God is not the sustainer of its creations. It believes that it has to feed on other people. It cannot create its own energy. It's a belief that it cannot create its own energy, that God will not be providing energy, providing opportunities, providing abundance, whatever it is. There's a belief in the spirit or the person that God will not provide for them. So they have to, sometimes it could be putting other people down. Again, if any of you have been feeling like, you know, people are kind of strategically not wanting you to surpass a certain level, that might be like more of a vampiric type connection where they believe that God will not be able to provide for you and for them, right? They want to kind of keep it to themselves. There's like a selfishness to it. Why am I messing with my hair? Stop. So with that, and vampiric as well, yeah, so it's rooted in the fundamental belief that God will not provide. So when you want to neutralize vampiric energy, people who might just like feed on your energy, feed on your light, be very addicted to being around you or wanting your attention and energy, you want to neutralize that type of energy with that sense, with that belief that God, spirit, whatever, I'm not religious, but I use the word God because that's my vibe. But it's like a non-religious God. Spirit, the universe, God will provide for everybody in every way, including yourself, including for the other. And as you lean more into that neutralizing energy, so again, lust is going to be purity and selflessness. Anger is going to be love and compassion. And vampiric is going to be the belief that God provides and sustains all of its creations and can provide for everybody. As you lean more into that energy, that opposing force of what is initially coming in, you neutralize the energy that's coming in, and also it starts to activate your higher energies to come in and come through, and so you can feel more confident and more guided in the step that you want to take. I did not expect that to come through from that book, but yeah, I'm hoping that this makes sense. I think the message is done. I have some others that I need to record. But yeah, some of you just need some reassurance that the energies that you are kind of fighting right now are sometimes external. And if anyone needs a bit more of a hand with that, firstly, I just want you to feel empowered that you could totally do this by yourself. You really, really can. The more that you can just generate those feelings, you will be fine. Like, you're good. But if you do need a hand, I do have some private sessions open. I think I do. Might need to check my shop. I've been away. I've been away, and I think I sold out. So I might need to put those back on. But I feel like Spirit really wants to encourage you. If you're someone who's like panics of like, oh my God, I should get someone else to do this for me. Like, Spirit really are just like, hey, no, like, trust yourself that you've got this, because that's an easy way that you give your power away, That could be like a really easy way that you give your power away, is that like you trust other people more than you trust yourself and your own ability to do things. Okay. So yeah. And then if it's like real sticky after you've tried, and maybe give it like a month, and then maybe you can come hit me up. Okay. But yeah, I really hope this message like helped some of you, there is another message I think that's related to this that I'm gonna be posting shortly as well, about using certainty as your armor. But this video has already gone on for quite a while, so I'm gonna leave this here. But thank you so much if you are watching this. If you're new here, my name is Lucy or Pixie. I am mainly a Twitch live streamer. I run a spiritual community over on Twitch. We are one of the only currently female-led partnered spiritual communities on the live streaming platform of Twitch, and we have an awesome community. I've really been wanting to tap into like YouTube and see what's going on here. So, you know, if you vibe with my content, you know, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe and stuff like that. And you can go check out my Patreon as well if you would like to learn more about astrology, my other energetic clearing techniques that I've got on there. But yeah, there is my pinned post on my Patreon page shows a whole library of 3 years worth of all types of educational content. But yeah, anyway, some of you might need to warm up to me a little bit more before that, but that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you guys. Take care. As soon as you've kind of resolved this energy, it's going to be so much easier for you to take this step. Trust yourself. And if anyone is like due a one-to-one, I have 2 people pending like a one-to-one with me. If you're listening to this is really random. If you're listening to this and you feel like, you know, this clearing thing might relate with you, then just send me a DM, because I'll like use a portion of our one-to-one time to help resolve this. Do